Could anything happen in this playoff game Monday that could put Mike McCarthy's job status in question for next year?
No. I don't even want to. No. That's it. I don't need to go into all the pluses or minuses, but we're not seeing any. We're not basing. I've got a lot more to evaluate Mike McCarthy on than this playoff game.
Oh, I'd love to know what the minuses are, Jerry. What are the minuses? Look, and there's a real difference between seeing the words and hearing them. You can interpret based upon hearing it that he already has a thought on Mike McCarthy that it doesn't really matter what happens on Monday night because it's probably going to be consistent with what I already believe Mike McCarthy to be as a head coach, which hardly means he's completely and entirely safe. He has had 2 great regular seasons. Last year's playoff loss ultimately was pinned on him for a failure of attention to detail and planning and execution of that quarterback draw, where he failed to recognize that the umpire could not teleport through the center and the quarterback to touch the ball so that they could spike it and kill the clock.
Right.
I've been saying this all along, Chris, if there is a clear, bright line failure of coaching that causes them to lose on Monday night, how is he not? How do you not? At a certain point, you're negligent in your job as the owner and GM of the team if you're not holding the coach accountable for failures to win in the postseason that trace back to coaching.
I understand it. I mean, Mike McCarthy has a little reputation there in that department, so I think that hurts him when we talk about this, right? And, yeah, I mean, last year that was disappointing. They were 12-5. They were home in a playoff game. It was a 49ers team that was, 10-7 last year?
There it is.
And here's the play.
Sorry, Cowboys fans.
Right. So this fed into a narrative of, penalties and bad management of situations that was already around McCarthy. So that's where, it hurts them. There's a little bit of a stigma there. And I get it. I understand it. And they were outplayed by a team that they looked at and thought, hey, we're better than them. They weren't. They weren't. But, I don't know, Mike. I mean, minus just an absolute crazy blunder. I don't. How could you? I wouldn't do it. I'll say that. They're a team that's going in the right direction. They have gone 12-5 this year, 2 years in a row. This is a year that I don't think anybody thought they would be. I don't know if we really thought they would be a 12-5, 13-4 type of football team before the year either. We were kind of questioning about, they've lost some players. What's going to happen here? I'm not sure, right? So from that standpoint, I just go, it's a little bit like what Brad Holmes said at the start of the show with the quarterback thing. You just got to be careful about, throwing overboard a successful formula and things that are going the right way just because it's not a perfect formula. Perfect's hard. Perfect's winning the Super Bowl. Perfect ain't that easy. So, I'm one to sit here and stick up for Mike McCarthy, and like I said, unless it's just an absolute crazy blunder, you stick with them.
If you think you can get Sean Payton, though, that's what it comes back to. 4 years ago, Jerry Jones initiated the launch sequence to get Sean Payton, and it didn't work out. But he's been in that position. That's a name that's been tied to Jones, and Payton's in play. And it is speak now or forever hold your peace time if you're Jerry Jones. Now, it's possible that Payton doesn't take a job and kicks the can for one more year, and then he'd be in play next year. But with the Broncos sniffing around, and who knows how much money they would offer him, they may make him an offer that he won't refuse. We don't know what the Cardinals are going to do. I reported Saturday night that the Saints fully expected to get a phone call from the Cardinals at some point for permission to talk to Sean Payton. And some of these other teams that are looking for coaches may say, well, maybe we should get in on this. This may be it. I mean, wouldn't it be something for the Cowboys if the Texans decide to throw the keys to Sean Payton? You think Jerry Jones wants to have Sean Payton down the road, turning the Texans around? So that's why I say it. This isn't like the Lions getting rid of Jared Goff and just pulling a name out of a hat, and hoping that some unproven quarterback comes in and plays as well or better than Goff. This isn't scratching a lottery ticket. Right. This is okay, wait. I've got a guy who has won a Super Bowl and who has had a perennially contending team, except for the lost years following the Bountygate BS that the league imposed on the Saints. This is a guy that I know can come in. This is a guy who, if he was going to run a quarterback draw with the clock ticking toward double zeros, down 6 in a playoff game, would have made sure that everyone knew you got to get your ass out of the way so the umpire can get through to touch the ball. That's the kind of detail that would not have been lost on Sean Payton, but that clearly was lost on Mike McCarthy. That's why I keep thinking about this. Not because it's get rid of McCarthy and go hire somebody new.
Yeah.
It's Sean Payton is there looming, and if McCarthy makes another one of these brain fart things that McCarthy did but Payton never would have done, I feel like that's when Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, anyone involved in running that team has to realize there's a common thread. And for all the pluses for Mike McCarthy, getting back to Jerry's quote, pluses and minuses. One of the minuses is, boy, man, sometimes the whole house is going to cave down on us because we weren't as buttoned up as we should have been. And there's a guy out there that I've known for years who's buttoned up in everything he does. Maybe now's the time to go get him.
Yeah, I think you're saying it right. That's the situation we're in. I don't think it's about, Mike McCarthy hasn't done a great job or deserves to be. It is the Sean Payton factor that I think is the only reason we're discussing this. And, yeah, we know there's a prior relationship. And, of course, yeah, if you're asking me, Sean Payton, Mike McCarthy, okay, yeah, I'm definitely taking Sean Payton. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Sean Payton is one of the greatest offensive minds in the history of football. You know, Mike McCarthy, he's a very good coach. His teams are tough. You know, they're physical. Their game plan and never wows me. He's not an offensive coordinator. He doesn't call the plays anymore, but they do the right things. You know, so I got a lot of respect for what Mike McCarthy has done. Yeah, there was a time where, I think it was a little overrated and Aaron Rodgers was doing a little too much of the work there. But as far as just the CEO, head coach, oversee the team, do stuff, he does a lot of positive things, there's no doubt. But Sean Payton is special. And, this is one where Jerry, we've seen he's kind of patient with coaches. He doesn't like to pay them after he's fired them. And that's where I wonder how real of an option Sean Payton really is in his mind right now. Does he really want to upset the apple cart and do this whole thing? I think that's going to be the thing we're looking at here. And, of course, Monday night we'll have a little say in this as well.
Isn't it amazing that a guy who has that much money and is constantly making more of it would be cheap when it comes to paying someone to not work for him? And he would continue to cling to a coach who may not get him that Super Bowl victory he wants simply because he does not want to give the guy the satisfaction to go home for a year or two and get paid to do nothing. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating wrinkle, but you're right. He doesn't like to fire guys who get paid after they are gone, and McCarthy would have a couple of years left on his contract if a change would be made.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.